Ishita Jain, Chief Business Officer, Ashika Credit Capital, who tracks the space very closely, joining in. And Ishita, I think you had the opportunity, I hope you had the opportunity to listen to what Glenn Saldanha was saying, and thought it would be useful for us to have this conversation when you've heard him. So the only question mark, if at all, is that this drug, this wonder drug, is still at very early stages of its clinical trial. Do you see that as a potential challenge?
Thanks for having me. So I do not see that as a potential challenge for two reasons. One is that ISB 2001, FDA has given not only an orphan drug status, but also a fast track designation. So it may not require the standard timelines of development that a normal drug does. And given AbbVie's execution firepower, I think that there will be a truncated timeline for a drug like this. If FDA, I mean, it all depends on what FDA allows. At the end of the day, if FDA allows them to do rolling submission, which they will, since it does have fast track designation, and if FDA allows them to consider phase 2 as a registrational study, given high efficacy, then they might be able to submit an FDA approval on a rolling basis, which will be much faster than your regular FDA timelines.
Right. Ishita, good morning. So taking into consideration the upfront fees that they will get, the potential that Glenmark has on the back of this, and the numbers that we were baking in terms of FY 26 and 27, and the stock is actually up 10% in pre-open, would this now become a re-rating candidate? And if so, how do numbers change?
Definitely a re-rating candidate. It is tough to say right now of how much that would re-rate, because we don't know the upfront payment of $700 million, the accounting treatment on it. It could either flow in as consolidated revenue, or it could also be a one-time gain, or it could be recognized over a period of time. I think there is a lack of clarity on how that would be accounted for. Either way, the company has guided that debt will reduce. In the last earnings call, the company said the debt will be reduced. So I think after this kind of payment, not only does, like Mr. Glenn said, not only does IGI's $70 million cash burn get taken care of, debt will also be taken care of. And I think by the end of this, Glenmark Pharma will be a net cash company. And that if that does not call for re-rating, I don't know what does.
Ishita, very quickly. So it's open 10% higher, very likely will be 15% after the first 5 minutes. Would you still be a buyer then?
Yes, I would be.
You will be a buyer 15% higher, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Great. Ishita, thank you so much for your patience while you were waiting with us while Glenn Saldanha was talking, but I'm sure it was useful for all of us to hear from the man himself. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
All right.